But guess what this is not? This is not growth. This is the illusion of growth. This is the illusion that things are working. This was me not acknowledging my feelings, feeling sorry and apologetic, begging to get back to where I was. And so my wife and I would be right back here on the current path, only it would be 4 months later. And we'd be going along, and we'd be going along. Guess what would happen? Trigger. And this trigger would trigger in me and in her a complete drift. The drift was on the same topics, the exact same topics that had happened the first time. Here I was going along, getting triggered, drifting, anger, frustration, blame, shame, pit, feel sorry for myself, want to go back, try to lift, feel better, I'm growing, things are getting better, we're not fighting, only to end up being the same man I was before. So when the trigger came, guess what happened? I wasn't able to handle it. I hadn't actually grown. I had not become more. And so my friends who sat at this wedding with me, the same financial capacity they had 7 years ago, the same marital issues they had 10 years ago, the same shit that was going on for us 7, 8 years ago, they're still living it. And I said, Garrett, how did you change? How did you change, Garrett? How did you find a way to change? I said, in the pit, I saw the light. And in the pit, the light was to learn. But the desire couldn't be to go back. The desire itself was not about the false peak. It wasn't about going back to who I was. It wasn't about restoring my marriage back to what it was. My marriage was not working. It wasn't about restoring my businesses back to what they were. It wasn't about getting back to what I had been as a producer before. It wasn't about trying to make shit happen as it had happened before. It was about burning what had not worked. This false peak becomes the trap of life. The trap. My wife and I had given up because for 10 years, path, trigger, drift, dark, false lift, we're good again, trigger, drift, false lift, karmic cul-de-sac. There's a reason why the French say the more things change, the more things stay the same. Why? Because if you don't fundamentally change, you just avoid the triggers. If you don't take the dog shit cupcake and actually get rid of it and create a new cupcake that's real, then everything about your life will simply repeat itself over and over and over and over again.